Bum ba bum bum ba bum 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 bum. I got it memorized today. Was that pretty good?
That's pretty good. I recognize it at least.
Welcome to a superhero special. Boba Fett, I would say, is what do you call it? Appointment television. You have to watch it immediately the first time it drops. On the air on a Wednesday. Wednesday is the day to watch Disney Plus. So here we are. Disney owns Marvel. Disney owns Star Wars. We're going to talk about Boba Fett today. And they released Chapter 6 today. And Chapter 5 was last week. And we're gonna probably jump around because I last minute invited people to the stream and decided when to stream and things like that. So for now, my counterpart Larry Legend is here. Thank you, bro.
And Grogu. Grogu's here.
Team Grogu or Team Boba Fett?
Does he take the red pill or the blue pill? Does he take the mithril? Does he take the green lightsaber?
Yeah, I think when we jump here into the conversation, we'll jump around. We'll see where it goes, but we'll have to talk about theories about what's going to happen next. And I think that's what Willie wants to talk about. What's up, New Brick, Tennessee Willie?
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
I am good.
It's a glorious day in a galaxy far, far away.
It's a good day for a Star Wars fan.
Let me explain to you that I have never been into Star Wars.
Okay.
But Mandalorian came, Bad Batch came, Boba Fett came. I love it. I love this. I love this part of it. I can do without the movies. I can do without the movies and whatnot, but I love this part of the story.
Yeah. The Filoniverse, basically, is what we're calling it. Dave Filoni started Clone Wars back in the day as a more, animated filler show, and then it was dropped after like 6 seasons. But then, and then we got this and that, with the big movies. But now we're into these streaming shows. And you can digest them at your own rate, first thing of the day or whatever your time allows. Man, it is good content coming from these masters, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
Yep.
Yeah. If you haven't looked into the story behind Dave Filoni, it's really a cool story. Hey, Bearded Bricks, what's up, man? It really is. You go from a guy who was really just working on the animated show, but Lucas saw that he really had the Star Wars vision, and that's so true. I mean, you look at the stuff he does, and it's just so. It's such fan service. It's great.
Yeah, it is like. I mean, he's writing his own. It's real life because it started with animation with those guys, right? So what we're geeking out on is the expanded universe of Star Wars in this new line is live action animated characters, which is like bringing it's almost like one step is bringing animation from comic book pages, but whole another step to see characters come to life mixed up with live action people, be it CG monsters or practical effects or makeup and just like really good prosthetics or whatever you call it when they do masks and stuff. So I'm pretty sure we got to jump right in. Well, where do you guys want to start? I think I will guide the conversation.
Oh boy, well, I mean, it's hard not to talk about last week's episode, but I mean, it's kind
We
of.
can. I mean, I'm prepared
That
to
was like
talk
part
about
one
all
of
the episodes.
a 2-part movie that we watched. I mean,
Let's do. I don't have a spoiler tag, do I? Let's see here.
I swear.
Spoilers.
Last week's episode.
This was like a 45-minute movie. They packed so much good stuff in, and the way that they moved around from from one planet to another was very much like they've done in the movies. I loved that.
I thought last week's show was the show, and it was going to start going to the end, but the end wasn't going to be as good as this show. But this show changed my mind.
Yeah, I'll do a brief synopsis. Basically, we had chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, all about Boba Fett, which was great Boba Fett storytelling, and then they took a turn. Last episode in chapter 5, we got an episode called "The Return of the Mandalorian," and it had 0 Boba Fett. He was not on the screen, right?
Nope.
They mentioned his name. He's looking to hire. Fennec's going to go. I mean, but that was almost at the end of the other one. I know.
It was, and Tamara's name was in the credits. It may just be because it's Boba Fett's show, or it may have been that maybe there was some footage that they had to cut out for time or something. Maybe he got edited out, but yeah, I mean, not a glimpse of him.
All right.
So maybe the scene this week was supposed to be in the last week.
It's possible.
I think they, you never know how they're going to edit the show, right? And maybe COVID played a part. Like maybe he was on a COVID quarantine and they were like, let's do more Mando and we'll just cut it up a little. And then they decided to cut it up differently because I know scenes with Fennec Shand could have happened a little more better to tell the story getting ready for the mod gang. And then you have all this stuff with the Pike Syndicate. That's the big story arc, is the Pike Syndicate. So they want Mando to come as a bounty hunter or hired help, but you have to. Boy, they really spent a lot of time on him last week. I mean, they wouldn't have this show if the Mandalorian didn't do so well.
True, it's true.
For
and it's really, I mean, it's an extension. It's a true spin-off, but I love that they're keeping them together. I mean, I was not honestly expecting to see Grogu, much less other people that we will talk about. Yeah, I mean, I was really I don't know if we're ever going to see Master Luke again, like ever.
Well,
he's, I mean, so because I was kind of like, okay, are they taking this and is it going to be?
We'll see him next week.
They're just creating interest to make sure that nobody loses interest in the Mandalorian show because it's been so long between seasons. But
per my theory, I think we're going to see Luke one more time.
Oh,
let's talk about the Skywalker in the room.
Okay.
We got to do it, right? I mean, that's why I think we're here. I mean, it was great to see Mando and Grogu, but Ahsoka.
Yeah, everybody was in it.
Like, I want to say even more Luke Skywalker because it was so, casual conversation Skywalker.
I didn't expect to see. I feel like if we're going to see Grogu, we're going to see Luke because of the way it ended. But I did not expect to see Ahsoka at all.
Well, and that was a big question in my mind was, okay, he's going to go back to Grogu. They're really leading up to that. Why wouldn't they? I mean, they couldn't not go back to Grogu. Grogu is making them tanker trucks full of cash.
Yeah.
So we're going to see him. But are they going to bring Luke back? Because he's with Luke. I mean, how do you even if Grogu left Luke, you'd have to explain that using Luke. So I'm like, okay, so how are they going to do that? And I did not expect to see it on Boba Fett. No way.
No.
And so that was such a cool thing. And especially that we got so much time with him.
Oh, yeah. So last week was the book of Mando.
Mm-hmm.
What would you call this episode? Because it's a lot less Boba Fett. It's almost the book of Grogu, I want to say.
Right. I mean, the title of it was
It should have been preschool.
The title was
Stranger from the Desert. What was it called?
From the Desert Comes a Stranger, which is the last minute or two with Cad Bane. I
mean,
go ahead and name drop all the spoilers.
That's a whole thing in and of itself. I mean, he'd been rumored to show up. I immediately was texting Mike, and I'm like, dude, just giving him the comic 411. I'm like, okay, they just dropped somebody that was rumored to show up on the show, and I didn't tell him. And he's like, who was it? Was it Captain Afra? Was it 000? Was it I'm like, nope. Was it Admiral Thrawn? Nope. And he's like, fine, tell me who was it, because he hadn't seen it. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll spoil it for you, but it was Cad Bane. And he's like, oh crap, I sold that book 3 weeks ago. I'm like, well, you sold it because it was a rumor, and now it's true. And I don't know if it was better that you sold it back then, because we don't know what's going to happen. I'm sure that this appearance by Cad Bane will probably generate it's going to generate buzz for the comics. I got to go find mine. I got him somewhere. I got him.
I didn't know who this character was until Bad Batch.
Oh, seriously? Oh, dude, you get Clone Wars.
Like I said, I'm not a character. I hadn't seen any of that. I seen the last whatever cartoon.
There's a lot of content out there. I respect where you're coming from.
I saw that like the last 4 episodes or something.
He's my favorite bounty hunter.
There's a lot of other bounty hunters that like Lego has made too. The orange, well, she's white skinned with the ponytail, and she's got, I don't know. There's a lot of different things that came on that one bounty hunter ship. Anyway, we're all over the place. Like I thought we were. We're all over the place, and I know when Iceberg joins us and Troy jumps in, we will probably cover some more topics over and over and over tonight.
I have a question, Jesse.
Yes.
What did y'all think of the CGI? Did it hold up?
Deep fake Luke, yeah.
Good question.
I was impressed because, like I said, it was a lot of conversation, like slow, like there. I mean, he was right there on camera having conversations with mostly Grogu, a little bit with Ahsoka, and that's where you can kind of tell. Like the hair looks a little too perfect. I would have liked a little tuft of length on the hair, but boy, if you didn't know, like the average person didn't know, it would fool them, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's great. I think, you can do it like, and there's a couple ways to do it, right? So as far as your question, I thought the quality was, 110%, 110%, let's call it.
Yeah. I did see something on YouTube where there was a group of studio guys that took that scene from The Mandalorian and redid it and made it look real as real can be. I'm hoping that, the folks at Star Wars decided, okay, there are people out there on the internet doing a better job than we are doing. We need to hire these people. We need to get that talent and do it right. I noticed only one time where he looked fake, and pretty much the rest of the time I was sold. And I think they did it well, because there were a lot of, full body shots where you didn't get the close up on his face. And that's always the tell, it's always in the speaking and the eyes that kind of spoil it, but they did enough. I mean, the closest stuff was great, and all of the far away stuff, the callback to training on Dagobah, running through the bamboo. I mean, that was in the flipping. I was like, yes. I thought it was hilarious that his little backpack thing looked like a child carrier instead of just what he had, like ropes on Dagobah with Yoda.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Yeah, so that's that's great. You mentioned the training, yeah, because that was another huge moment. I just called it Luke's run in my notes, where we see him running through the bamboo and doing a couple flips, and he's got Grogu on the back. What did you think, Willie, of the are we calling it CGI? What do you call it? Deep fake? Luke.
I thought it was good. I thought it was a little bit better than Mandalorian, but we spent more time close up on him than last time. And like Larry said, I think I saw one time where it looked like it kind of shifted, or like he looked away, but the face didn't all the way go the way his head turned or something. But I know that was a big point last time with a lot of people. So it really stuck out to me this time to look out for it.
Well, let's talk pros and cons a little bit then, like Corey usually does on his show. I'm sure that comic show is right on my heels as as I went live here today. Another con might be, as far as CGI, is the jumping of Grogu, right? So Grogu learns to jump and train, if you will, and we did need to see that. We did need to see him move faster than a crawl. What did you think, Larry? Grogu's movements were definitely, he's puppeteered for the most part, but now they're like, is he on a string or
it's so funny. Great minds think alike. I was thinking he looked like a marionette.
Yeah.
That's exactly how his movements looked. Like he was literally on strings. I mean, but not from a typical puppeteer from down below, but like a marionette. And even though it was a little cheesy, I kind of appreciated it because it was. I do love practical effects if they're pulled off halfway decent, which this was. But also his movements in general, his little smock onesie thing that he wears. Yeah. I'm not really crazy about it. I mean, it's like it. I don't think that he moves properly.
Yeah,
it's all in the face and the head when it comes to Grogu, and sometimes his hands. But when he's really moving around, I wish it was better. I thought it was a little funny when he was force moving him just along the ground. Like, come on, keep up. I'm not gonna carry you, but come on. That was a little funny. I think that that whole battle with the remote droid, it was okay. I think it could have been better, but it was interesting, and it was a great callback.
Yeah, lots of callbacks, lots of pros and cons, a lot of pros. Well, let's go to pros. I just kind of want to bounce around and see who else joins us real early in the show, and then we can go to my usual timeline order and talk about all the details. Willie, did you have a favorite scene or character, I guess?
My favorite character so far, and this is a character I knew nothing about, is Black Chrysanthemum. When I saw him with Boba on the team already, because I don't think they ever showed Boba ask him to come be part of the team, right?
Oh, I think he did in episode 4.
Okay, but either way, when I saw him, I was excited because that lets me know in the final battle he's going to be there, and I'm going to see probably something great out of him. So anytime I see him, it automatically makes me excited.
Let's break down that character a little bit. Black Chrysanthemum shows up. So like Larry said, when does he show up? Oh my gosh.
He showed up like episode
Chapter 2.
It was 2 or 3, yeah.
Chapter 2, there's so much happened in Chapter 2. I was like taking notes, like, oh my gosh. And I'm like just writing little scenes down. We get Black Chrysanthemum in that scene, just, with the Hutt twins. And then later we see him pull him out of the Bactopod in Chapter 3. And then they have that fight. And I think the mod guys are there helping Boba Fett, so they capture him in the Rancor pit in that episode. And then Chapter 4, he's at the sanctuary, the casino, the cantina, and he's fighting all the Trandoshans.
Ripping arms off of the lizard guys.
That was his last time there.
And that was the last time we saw him, because Boba Fett invites him, hey, I got a job for you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. He did do that.
That was it, though. Like, yeah, I got a job for you. What are you doing, tearing this place up?
It was what I liked about that episode was that you got to actually see him in action. Because the first couple times you see him, he's just this big, badass looking Wookiee that you're like, do something. Be cool.
Yeah.
So you finally get to see that.
I still think that fight in the canteen is still my favorite scene out of the whole thing.
Yeah,
that was good.
Because when she was like, "Just put him down, let him go. We'll wipe your tab clean," and he like pulled the guy's arms off and still paid his tab. I'm like, that's the most gangster thing that you could do. And I'm like,
yeah, right. Just calm down, and you don't have to pay. He's like,
yeah.
Well, I think.
Dang Ferrick.
Dank Ferrick. Well, Dank Ferrick, we lost a character in this episode, supposedly. Jennifer Beals, who is the proprietor, looks like she got blown up by an ice cream maker.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is sad. You know who she is, though, right?
Don't you hate when that happens?
You know who that actress is?
No.
She was the main character in Flashdance. You remember that movie? We're all old.
Back in the day.
That's Jennifer Beals. She's actually done a lot of stuff, but I was like, no, come on, why you got to kill her off? Hopefully she's not dead.
I seen that on reruns later.
She was looking good as usual in this episode. Different dress, and the cantina was popping. There was a lot of people, like preachers, people there.
Now, did you see Max Rebo, or did he survive another explosion?
I
don't think you saw him because they covered.
The band was playing. The band was playing. I'm not sure. They showed the drummer droid,
and they showed the what are those guys called? The big bubblehead guys.
Yeah,
I forget. Yeah, but you didn't see that guy. You didn't see Max Rebo.
I don't know that we saw him this time, so Max Rebo still might be around.
Anyway,
during the other fight, she's like, "Hit it, Max," and says his name,
yeah.
So we knew it's Max Rebo. Or
Max. My guess, my hope is that in episode 7 we're going to see some badass Black Chrysanthemum action.
Yes,
we're going to see him we're going to let him loose, and he's going to kick some fish butt.
I hope so too. Yeah. Nice call, Larry. Good fave. Yeah, he did, slightly appear in this episode. They're basically when Mando lands at Bobo's palace, I'll call it now. They're all looking at a map of Mos Espa and planning their war against the Pike Syndicate. They've got BK there. They've got the mods, the mod squad, and they've got that one mayor dude is kind of hanging out with them.
Yeah, I don't understand if you're trying to hatch a plan while you got the mayor's flunky in the room with you as you're planning.
Right.
It didn't make sense.
Well, I'm just wondering if it's a great question why these like in the planning room. I mean, it kind of seems like they've kind of taken him prisoner. But that's a great point. I was kind of like wondering, like, why is he there?
Right.
And why is he not, in the dungeons? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like they had already gotten the information out of him. He had a couple words. But yeah, that was the scene where we see, they need more foot soldiers, and that's the tie-in to the story arc with this other town where Cobb Vanth is the marshal. It used to be called Mos Peglos, and they're now calling it Freetown.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Cobb Vanth a bit. He's in the beginning and the end. I don't know. There's so many little endings at the end. But the beginning, no doubt about it, there is a confrontation with the Pikes. They're doing a meet out in the middle of nowhere, so they think, but they're in his territory. They're in the Mos Peglos.
Right.
territory.
I love how he just popped up from under a rock somewhere.
Right.
He does that twice in the episode, where he just like pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah, no horse, no speeder. I don't know what he was driving. He just popped up there. Surprised the Pikes. They were doing an exchange for credits or something in the icebox container. And they had a fancy chest for the spice. So I wasn't sure what was going to be in there other than,
Yeah, I wasn't sure either. I thought they were leaving the credits, but they were leaving the spice.
Yeah, that was cool. He's like, take the credits and leave the spice for a fine. That's your fine for trespassing. And yeah, they didn't like that none too. I mean, he killed 3 out of 4 of them. And that's pretty big for Star Wars. Dropping some bodies, and the bomb at the end. Wow, body count here.
I love. What was his line? I loved.
Studs here.
He says, "Hey, stud."
Look, guys. Dank Ferrick had some IT issues.
Yeah,
Eric.
Thanks. We hear Dank Ferrick a couple of times in this episode, and the way he used it once was like poop, right? Like that's I think the S word maybe in Star Wars.
Yeah. Some kind of curse word in Star Wars.
Yeah, because what does he say? He calls something dank. Like don't be dank. He says it to like the biker gang or something. I don't know.
But Larry's right. That the actress is from the old school, man. That's Flashdance. The leg warmers back in the day. She was dancing with the leg warmers on. Yeah, that's old school, man. We're getting old.
R.I.P. Jessica Biel. Yeah.
I hope she's okay. I hope she survived. I doubt it, but you never know.
They didn't really show her reaction. I kind of, you always nitpick these things, and I was kind of hoping she would have caught on before the explosion, but it really took them all by surprise.
I think she caught it.
Oh, she did. Her eyes were like
explosion.
Right before
Well, yeah, it was like that. But
by the way, I'll share this cool thing. One of the guys in my lug has one of those ice cream makers.
Oh yeah, the ones at the
yeah. Because he dresses up, he cosplays as the guy from Cloud City that was carrying that way back.
That's old school.
That's old school.
They actually at Celebration, Star Wars Celebration, they do. I don't know. I forget what they call it. It's the running of the something, and they all run through with those containers.
That's awesome. That is so awesome.
Yeah, it's a little apart from that movie. That's been...
I just love that they use, because it's kind of a meta joke, right? They have a prop in the original Star Wars you see for half a millisecond, and it's an ice cream maker from the 80s.
Yeah. That's the funniest part.
And now it's like Star Wars lore.
Yeah.
We saw it in The Mandalorian. We've seen it a couple of times here in Boba Fett. Anyway,
usually they, dress it up and age it quite a bit.
Mhm.
So you can't
Yeah.
tell what this engine part is.
But the funny
and a
thing
bit of
is,
washing machine. Who knows?
Yeah.
the funny thing is that I don't know if it was episode 2 or 3 where they have like they purposely like cut to the scene where it was when the twins were showing up, and there's like a keg droid. It looks like a mini keg in the United States. I guess in Europe they call it some kind of, it's like their water container. They hold water in those things, I guess, like in Europe. And but it's literally just a mini keg with a hole cut out in the eyes and 2 legs. So it's like a ghetto, it's like a hood version of a gunk droid, but they specifically put the camera right on it and like that scene. And it was just like, wow, they actually, the designers are digging deep right here. And they're going like, that was one droid that was the same way. It was just like, oh, I can't believe they put that in there. But it was funny because it was, from a design standpoint, it was hilarious to see that like they picked up that much of the lore from the old shows and brought it in there. It was great.
Oh, and they still do it like the IG droid heads that are also like espresso machines in the bars and stuff. So that kind of stuff, I love. I'm always looking for that kind of
it's awesome
stuff. Yeah,
awesome.
We got a lot of droids in the last episode at that, when they were modifying the Starfighter, and Kelly Mato has quite a few that, we got the BD droid from what is that, a Star Wars game?
Yeah, that was awesome to see, and it was on her shoulder too, like it crawled up on her shoulder, which was just like the game, which was really cool.
Yeah. We got the Womp Rat in that episode. We got R5, of course, was there. The track droid, she even called it by name or something, like Tread droid or something.
Oh, Treadwell, yeah.
Treadwell.
Am I the only one who's in Marvel does the one shots, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see a one shot of her and one of those saying things on a date.
Oh my god.
Just show me one
Jawa, and
is it me, or was this the first time you ever saw the Jawa's actual hands?
I didn't even notice that. I didn't even notice they showed the hands. Did they show their hands?
They showed their furry little hands.
Yeah,
and they were on top of the sandcrawler with the big crate dragon skull, which was also kind of weird looking, but pretty cool. And I'm I'm just waiting for a mock to show up. Somebody's going to throw one of those on their sandcrawler. But after that lady said that they're furry, they showed their little hands. They look like little kind of monkey hands.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
And I've never seen a Jawa's hands before. So that's
crazy because those are the two things. Like when I worked for Disney, they will not show the Tusken Raiders' faces or Jawa's faces. Right. Always like off limits. But then when they made that joke when she said furry and she made the little mouth, the gestures was like,
she's like,
oh yeah. It was like, oh man, like because there's been fan art that shows them as like little furry rat people, but no one's ever in canon ever like done that. So it was really cool. It was like, wow, they actually like put homage to that, which was, it was great. But I didn't see those hands there. I got to check that out because like that's the kind of detail I usually love. So thanks for pointing that out because I didn't notice that. I did notice the skull on the sandcrawler.
Lots of creatures, lots of droids. Let me go back to the top of the episode where Mando arrives on this green planet. I'm not sure what it's called. Luke is there doing the training. R2 is there, greets Mando, and we see these ant droids.
Yeah.
So the ant droids are like acting like ants and going and gathering a little stone and then building a stone hut. And there were quite a few of them.
That was cool to see. That was people are always like there's the fans that reach and they're like, oh, this was where Kylo Ren died, and it could be the planet where
I think so.
Kylo Ren.
Oh yeah, that's going to be
because that new temple-like building he's building.
Yeah,
I think that's right out of.
It looks like it.
Force Awakens.
Right when it's raised and on fire, it looks like the same setting.
Yeah, it definitely does.
So yeah, it's really cool to see this thread where they're bringing the Jedi school that Luke is developing, the foundation level, literally. with the stonework and these ant droids building it for him. So they're a little smarter than that. R2 has a little chat and says, I think Mando's going to have to wait here. So can you make a bench for this guy? They we don't hear the words, right? But he's like, beep, beep, beep. And then all of a sudden they start building a bench for Mando to wait.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, we get to see R2-D2 right at the beginning of the show. Let's look at R2.
No, that was cool.
Yeah, he's got the radar thing going, and he's either letting Mando know where to land kind of thing, I think,
Mm-hmm.
So he can check up on him. But that bench was like just kind of a funny moment for me with droids. They just, we've had some funny droids in the kitchen last episode, was it?
Yeah, the cat droid. Yeah, the little cat droid with the ears.
The General Grievous butcher guy. Clevis, they're calling him, I think. Clevis. So, okay. You guys want to keep going with my timeline order until more people come in? Let's see what happens. On this planet, we see Grogu, we see Luke, and we see these frogs. And Grogu's going to eat a frog, of course, and do his thing. And it's just, it shows the patience of Master Skywalker, saying, hey, you don't have to like sneak a frog. I think what is it?
Yeah.
He's like, I could draw all the frogs out of the pond. You don't have to like wait till one comes across your path and like sneak a bite. You could grab one whenever you want. You just have to be in tune with the Force. There's a lot of Force stuff coming up, and we get right to that Yoda story also, which was fantastic. That
definitely.
Of course, Grogu needs to hear it again. Size matters not.
I love that. Like you guys were talking earlier with Luke with the backpack scene and him leaping. Like, I love how, and it's always recycled. Star Wars always recycles those ideas, but they make them better and better and deeper into the lore every time, which is really it's fun from an actual like old school Star Wars fan. Like, that was a really cool scene to see. And I didn't realize they had one eye. Those frogs have one eye.
Yeah, they're
little Cyclops frogs.
Yeah, I think they've always had one eye. It's just the way you see them before he eats them.
Yeah, I never realized that.
So, he's helping Grogu remember. Yeah, so that's the actual next scene. Let me help you remember. And we get a flashback from Grogu's perspective. Do you remember this scene, Larry? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, there was speculation that he was there at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant when Order 66 was delivered, and I think they just confirmed that.
Yeah, definitely. It's just who killed him, who saved him is the problem that we still don't know. But
the old librarian.
Yeah, who knows?
Could have already been in hiding. It was like he was seeing this. It seemed like he was right there behind the Jedi, but we see 3 Jedi fall to the hands of the clone troopers after Order 66.
Yeah, not even just the clone troopers; those were 501st. Like they had,
yep.
That was cool that they threw the 501st in there.
And was it the 501st that raided the temple?
Probably. Yeah. And I want to say, like, I don't know exactly who those Jedi are because their robes were pretty much their backs to us, but one had a ponytail like a Padawan kind of does. So we'll see if people connect the dots on maybe those Jedi were in a video game or something. Probably another callback there, I'm sure.
The one thing though we talked about last week, and thank God that Disney writers didn't let me down on this. When the protocol droid, remember when he talked about the protocol droid in that scene with the mod squad, and he's like, the protocol droid is like turning back and forth, but he had white markings on his face.
Yeah, I didn't connect that. That was Cad
Bane's droid, and then they pop.
Okay.
Like people are complaining about the Cad Bane they're like, oh, he's too pale, he's too skinny, he's not skinny enough. It's like, dude, come on, it's Cat Bane in live action, man.
Already, it's been half a day. They're already.
Oh, sure. There's just
they're already.
I mean, I did say the hat was a little small.
It was a little small,
he
but like
should be lanky. He was lanky and skinny in the animated, but he had this like oversized. Really
it's usually the brim is much bigger. But it was a decent job, though. The way they did it, though.
He needed a new hat, Maybe he's just like, this big hat. This is like a sombrero. It just gets in the way of my bounty hunting. I need a smaller one.
Right. It's not practical.
That's what I'm going with.
Right.
It looked good, though. To me, it looked like it. I was just happy to have a live action Cat.
Well, and the only thing that I cared about, because all the other stuff I can let go, is that they had the same voice actor do his voice. Love that voice actor, what he does with. I mean, Cat Bane's voice is like Darth Vader's voice.
Yeah,
it's one of a kind.
Yeah,
and the way they started with just the teeth in the hat down, and just the teeth, the shot was just money. It was just good. Like,
I mean, if we don't get to see a whole lot of him, that'll be a disappointment.
I just didn't know. Like, I followed the writing and having worked for Disney. I was like, dude, that has the markings of the Cat Bane droid. I was like, they have to put him in here, and thank God they did. But
I'm bummed I missed that, man.
Yeah, when the droid is like bouncing back and forth, like
I know exactly which one. I mean, I was like, that guy, that droid is supposed to be important for some reason. Otherwise, they wouldn't have highlighted him. But
I wanted to connect the dots, so I got Cat Bane on the screen here now. One of the things he said to Cobb Vanth was, "You should have never given up that armor," which means he knew Cobb Vanth had the armor and give it up. So he's been looking from afar, and or this protocol droid has been giving him some information. So I think that you're right, Sidious, that droid proves that Cad Bane was coming and has some information about, I mean, he's working for the Pike Syndicate, right?
Yeah.
And basically coaxing them to stay, he wants to pay them off to stay put, to not go to war with Boba Fett's team. So there's some reading on the walls there with that droid and those markings for sure.
I also took that line, "You shouldn't have given up your armor," as because I'm about to shoot you. I mean, that's how I took it. I'm like, and I mean, it's a classic standoff, a Western standoff.
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, which was great. I think it was perfect.
But do you think he was going to shoot him if it hadn't been for the deputy?
Yeah.
It's funny because
the deputy gave him the opportunity. I don't know that maybe Cad knew he was going to win the gunfight.
No, I think he knew he
I mean, Cad Bane is Cad Bane.
I think it was equal until the deputy ruined it.
Dumbass.
Ruined the concentration of I forget the actor's name, but Cobb Vanth, and like he's looking at him first, and then he gets shot once, and then the deputy gets shot like 4 times.
Yeah, that's when I played football as a running back. They told you don't look back. That was the one thing the coaches tell you: do not look back while you're running. Keep running. And then, like you saw, like they purposely blasted Cobb Vanth first, and then gave 4 to the other dude. Just like blah, 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 3 or 4 shots to the other guy afterwards.
Are we in agreement that Cobb is still alive?
Yeah.
He got shot in the shoulder, and if you had the subtitles on, all of the talk was get a med kit. Like they didn't answer any of the questions when they said is he still alive or anything like that. But with all the talk, all the dialogue that was in there, and just getting shot in the shoulder, I think he's going to be okay. The deputy, on the other hand, got what he deserved.
Oh yeah, the message that he left for him was for him how to act after this shot. I don't think he tried to kill him. I think he just tried to hit him. Because the message, you wouldn't tell that message to a dead man.
Right.
So that's why I don't think he meant to kill him, but I do think he meant to make his point and hit him.
Yeah, because they made it a point that he got one quick one. Cowman. The other dude was like, he just unloaded on the guy. So
yeah.
Well, let's get into the lore of Cad Bane a little further. I've got a little video pulled up here that shows the Boba Fett. Now, I'm not sure where this footage is coming. Like, it's like deleted.
Oh, the dead in the helmet. Yeah,
this is supposed to be the dead in the helmet scene that they
Clone Wars cut it out.
They cut it out of Clone Wars, so here it is from like a deleted Clone Wars scene. There's actual CG footage of them dueling off, and
he got his hat shot off. That's where his hat went.
Yeah,
that's why I needed a new hat.
And there's the dent and the burn in Boba's helmet.
That's a weird thing though, because fans now they want to see this in the live action, but it's already it's done. You can't. Boba Fett already has the dent in his helmet in live action, so they're
maybe he'll have a back to dream about it.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that could work. That could definitely work.
Yeah, they go back and we just barely got introduced to this character. I don't know that. I mean, it would be a weird flashback. So those two have to face off for sure on the next episode.
Boba
Fett and Cad Bane. They're fighting on opposite ends of this war. I mean, they're going to be the top two, the chiefs. I think calling all the shots. It looks like. I mean, the Pike will have other foot soldiers and whatnot doing all the major damage, but and we'll hopefully see other characters square off with equals. With Black Chrysanthemum should have. Come on in, Troy. Troy's thought it was 5. I don't know. I said top of the hour and went for it.
I understood time.
It was 5 p.m. That's what the text said.
And then, just come on in when you're ready, Troy.
We've been waiting for you, actually. We've just been chit-chatting about nothing important.
Episodes.
There was a throwaway line that I kind of like, what was the meaning of that? Because I just watched it back to, watch it and watch it again because it was that good. That Cad Bane says about Boba Fett, and I'm actually looking for it right now to see.
Something about dirty filth, and
he was Imperial. He's a. No, hold on. Let me see if I can find exactly.
He was an assassin for the Imperial Army.
Boba Fett is a cold-blooded killer who worked with the Empire. Well, they're not portraying Boba Fett as a cold-blooded killer in this show. So what's that line for? That's
because ain't that what he was though?
Well, it was kind of. I mean, we don't know a whole lot about Boba Fett from back then.
That would lead up to them paying off the helmet dent theory too, though, because that's why he's so angry. Cad Bane, obviously. So it does make sense, the flashbacks. Because I was telling on a text stream, I was like, dude, they're going to show. They all didn't think they're going to show Grogu. I'm like, how do you not think they're going to show Grogu? They just put it in the writing for you in the last episode. They put it right in your face.
Hey, dude, Jude.
What's up, dude?
So it's let's get back to my timeline, and then we'll see if Troy jumps in, and we'll get back to some of the big items. While we're on this planet, did I lose?
Sidious.
Oh, he dropped.
He blipped.
While we're on that planet, Ahsoka is also there, and talks to Mando. He sees Ahsoka first before Luke or anything. There's R2's head right there at a little bit of, and they take a walk and talk, if you will, a walkabout, and talk about the foundling. Mando is very attached to Grogu. He's come to give him a gift, and Troy's here now.
Hey, Troy.
I'm here. How you doing?
All right.
What's up, Treasy?
How you doing, Willie?
All right.
Sidious, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? Sorry, I hit the wrong button before. Instead of camera, I hit leave studio.
I didn't plan the
That's okay.
hammerhead.
That's
figure
all right.
to sit right in the middle.
Troy's here. Better leave.
No, I love that figure, by the way. The hammerhead figure. The
Man,
figure.
yeah, I had to put that on there. It's not
I
quite.
love that you just threw that together just for your.
I didn't want to spoil the show, but I got Cad Bane and all that ready to go. But I wanted
to say, I go
wanted
get mine
to
right
talk
now.
about all the other characters. Like since Troy just jumped in and we've been all over the board, Troy, like out of all the classic OG Star Wars characters, what would Sidious just mentioned the Hammerhead guy. I think they're Ithosaurus something race. What callback character would be your favorite in the Boba Fett show? It doesn't have to be this episode.
Bosk.
Yeah,
So
I hope we see him.
I honestly thought they were gonna showcase Bosk first, but they surprised us with Cad Bane. So
yeah,
that was really cool. It made sense though. It made sense to introduce Cad Bane, I think, more, for the Most Pelgro, that he kind of just fit right into that kind of like sci-fi Western type feel. So
as soon as they showed the figure on the horizon, I'm like, Cad Bane. Because I mean, it's been rumored, so I was, you're like, okay, I've got this list of people I'm looking to have show up.
Oh yeah.
They did give the vibes though of whatchamacallit, the Bosk stuff with when Black K finally ripped the arm off that Trandoshan in the bar. Yep. I was like, yes,
right, yeah,
because they're mortal enemies. So those two races don't like each other. So it was
maybe that's who Black Chrysanthemum will battle. That'll be his opposite opponent, like Cad Bane and Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Now, if they go back to like they did in Bad Batch, it'll be Fennec and Cad.
Oh,
that's gonna be a fight too. Yeah,
they fought each other on Bad Batch.
They're sharpshooters.
So who's Mando gonna fight?
I thought, yeah. Well,
everybody.
Who's he gonna pair opposite of?
It'd be nice if the Hutts were there, the twins or something. It's like somebody got to take them out, but they're like, I think, going to be, not
background
war.
Yeah.
They'll let the war happen, like they left.
Yep.
And
okay, so I have a question, storyline wise. Is Cad Bane is he associated with Crimson Dawn?
That's the truth.
Because we know that the Pike Syndicate is we're suspecting that ultimately the Crimson Dawn is behind them.
He could be hired by anyone. That's the crazy thing. But I think it's Crimson Dawn. I do think the bigger party behind it is Crimson Dawn.
Because they wouldn't have set that up at the end of Solo like they did if there wasn't going to be a future for the Crimson Dawn.
The crazy thing too is that there's really, and these are what I call long arm fanboy reaching long arm theories. But there is a slight shot of the Darth Maul ship in one of the scenes, like in the background. You see it clearly. It's Darth Maul's ship, but he's in the timeline. He wouldn't be alive.
Right.
So it would be what's her face from Game of Thrones that took over.
Kira.
Kira. It would be her that is in that ship. So and that would be the front of Crimson Dawn. So we'll see. But
it makes sense for her to like be this big figure behind the curtain, so to speak, right? Because nobody knew Darth Maul was Crimson Dawn's, and she took over that role, so she could also hide behind the curtain of similar ships, Imperial ships, or whatnot.
So it was just weird because when you see the screenshot, it is clear as day. It's Darth Maul's ship, like it is that ship. So,
and where was it seen?
I think it was episode 3. Like when they're showing the ring, that ring planet. I forget the name of it. The one that's like Saturn's ring. You clearly see it. Like it is like as the sun is moving. It's like
really,
yeah, and it's in the background, but you can tell blatantly that it's his ship. So we'll see. Like just like the markings I said on the droid, it's the same kind of thing. The writers might put it in there as a little egg, so you never know.
Well, then again, you've got sometimes they just have stuff in there that doesn't mean anything. Like like the Millennium Falcon on Naboo. You know, that was pre-Solo, so they hadn't changed the design or fitted the design, so it wouldn't have been that ship, but it could have been that class of ship. So
ghost ship. Let's get Troy caught up a little bit because I'm sure you want to jump into some of the big moments in the episode. What did you guys think of deepfake Luke?
Dude, that was really good.
Yeah,
so much better than the first time. Yeah. They that guy that has the YouTube channel that does all the deep fakes, I guess they hired him.
Okay, I was right.
Right. Yeah.
I was right.
No.
So you can definitely tell that, you know, it's much improved because of that guy. And that first pic of him that you just showed, I could not tell that it wasn't real.
I know.
The eyes, the eyes is usually the thing that you can point out and go, oh, that's CGI, but
that one looks even better.
If I didn't know any better, it was him.
Yeah, that was when I first saw the original one. I was like, dude, especially from like production experience working for Disney, I was like, there's no way they're gonna do a whole series of Luke like that. And then this guy came in and blew it out the box because like you said, you couldn't. It was just like that. Actually, looks like it, like for real. Yeah. There's no mouth jitter. There's no eye jitter. It's just spot on. Like it actually, they could do full scenes with him now, which is crazy.
Well, you know, here he is, like acting off of Rosario Dawson, or she's acting off of whatever. I thought this one was the only one, like just like where his feet were standing. It didn't look quite real to me. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Him all in black like that. I don't want to show too much. We'll get banned. Well,
having him in black, I think, helps with anything they want to do with the CGI.
True. But wasn't there an actual stand-in, a younger gentleman that kind of looked like a younger Luke?
Yeah.
And then they had Mark Hamill there as well for the voice acting, right? And then they did the deep fake over that young actor.
Layers and
layers. What happened?
Even the voice acting though was deep faked. It's a deep fake audio version where they use an algorithm to get his voice from the old stuff. But they do hire him on that day on the set to actually perform it. But the character you're talking about, the actor, he was in the last episode as the X-Wing pilot. Most people didn't notice. He's the X-Wing pilot that's talking to the other dude. He's like, yo. And the other guy's like, no, well, we're not going to take him in.
Oh, that's funny.
That's the guy who plays Luke. That's the dude.
Really? Okay. I didn't know that.
Nice.
It wasn't listed quite well. I wasn't wondering if Ludwig, the musical guy, was going to make an appearance somehow. He kind of looked like that, too. But they didn't show his hair.
No, that's the guy. As soon as I saw him last week too, I was like, "Oh man, they're definitely gonna throw in Luke now." They wouldn't hire him just to do that one little part. Like that would be extra on the production side of things. That would be, well, we're gonna throw you in here too, just to fill. And that's what they did. And but to see him as Luke like that was just, like you said, the deep fake version of it was just so superior to what it was last time.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Troy, again, we talked secondly about we're just kind of debunking, I guess, I don't know if you call it CGI or whatever you want to call it. The puppet on a string here, Grogu's just kind of bouncing around. Hopping like a frog makes sense, but what did you think of this?
Oh, dude, speaking of it, dude, I've already started. I
didn't have an issue with it. Now that we've seen,
nice.
I didn't see it yet, but you see, there's him and Luke and the droid.
I was like, "Where are you going?" Okay, you got them hopping. Nice.
Oh, nice.
And
I'm gonna fill in the
droid.
This is just a really sketch thumbnail.
Training droid.
But I'll fill in the rest of the rock work around the pond and everything, and race Luke up. But yeah, I've already started a little.
I think Luke needs the classic brown Lego hair.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch I'm gonna take the hood off and put the dark hair on. I will. Larry, you're right on it because I was gonna. That's just like a sketch for me to remember to like make the rest of the scene. But you're right on it because that was the first thing I thought of. I'm like, I gotta take his hood off. I have to find because they made his hair darker in the show. So
Reed's here.
Kind of reminded me of a little bit of Robin Hood crossing the river in the forest.
Mm-hmm. It was a beast too. And when Luke was jumping on him, and then the beast pops up. Like I don't know the name of that animal in the Star Wars.
I wanted universe. To see more. Like I don't know. It was good. What else, Troy? Did you have Troy? Let's see. Anything else you wanted to say about like Grogu and the training, the Luke Academy, or?
Let's see. Well, okay, here, yeah, there was something that Luke said when he was talking to Ahsoka that kind of was like, So he was saying that he was worried about Grogu's demeanor, about his training, and that
his heart wasn't in it.
His heart wasn't in it, and that was like, oh, does he think he might go to the dark side one day, kind of like his father did, sort of thing.
I am so curious about that very thing that you're talking about, Troy. I want to know, and now that we have a little bit of context from the horror that he saw, because they alluded to that in The Mandalorian when Ahsoka first met him and was,
So they're definitely planting a seed there about the potential of him maybe turning one day. So that was kind of interesting.
Was it that, or was it just the fact that he didn't want to be there? He wanted to be with Mando.
I guess that they leave it up to the viewer to decide, and
I didn't think anything
about the question, maybe or not.
Well, sure. So you have a 50-year-old child that witnessed Order 66. Is he filled with rage? Is he filled with a sense of revenge, or is he filled with, I know the difference between right and wrong because I've seen wrong and I want to do good, and he's seeing Mando doing good? Is he going to choose the red pill or the blue pill?
Well, let's go around the room on that one. It's called Grogu's Choice. I love this scene. I'll go first right off the bat because, I think my favorite part is when Star Wars mashes samurai lore, and we know Mando and Grogu are straight from Lone Wolf and Cub stories, and another mash of those stories is the Shogun Assassin, where a baby is given the choice of going to a ball or to a sword. And this is right out of that context. Yeah. Are you going to pick defense and go with the chainmail armor, or are you going to go to offense?
You went to Middle Earth to get that.
And then from Luke's perspective, is that the better choice, going to the sword? It's very interesting and twisted from Luke Skywalker to get, but proper, I think, also to give this choice to Grogu, who definitely has a strong bond to the Mandalorian and Jar Jar.
So all three of
Larry,
all three of the main, good guys, Luke, Ahsoka, and Mando, all refer to protecting Grogu being protected. And so I don't know what I want. I don't know if I want another Jedi yodeling. Do I want a sidekick for Mando?
That's a good way to put it, too. What do you want and what do you expect?
Yeah.
What I expect is Grogu to go back with the Mandalorian, because that was just, from a corporate Disney perspective, that was selling like hotcakes. So
well, and it would be a way for them to not have to do any more Luke, because if he stays with Luke, then that's going to be a whole thing.
Well, everything you have with Grogu's baby little sack now needs to go to this chainmail Grogu.
Yeah.
I had a feeling it was chainmail
sack to go, and I want a cool little baby ninja suit. I don't know.
The crazy thing, though, is that the choice to even have Yoda's lightsaber in the comics, it was already destroyed. So they're kind of retconning like a red comic, whatever they call
What's
it.
the story behind that? Because Jess and I were talking about this before. Where'd it come from?
Yeah. So they're kind of pretending that never happened in the comics.
Passed to the other plane in Force Ghost.
Yeah, he was there when he died.
So
right, that's what we said. But
Dagobah?
At that point, when we're watching Return of the Jedi, we don't know that Yoda has a lightsaber.
Yeah, and in the comics, they actually destroyed it. Like they made it a comic where it was destroyed. And they were throwing a bunch of lightsabers into the fire, and the last one was Yoda's, and they made it a point to say this is where the era ends, blah blah blah, and they throw it in the fire. So they kind of
Willie, are you there? What do you think? Lightsaber or chainmail?
I think he's gonna pick chainmail.
Yeah,
and it's and that goes into my theory of what's gonna happen during the final fight. I think.
Okay, so let's assume Grogu goes with the chainmail and then also appears in the next episode.
Yeah, because if he chooses the chainmail, I think Luke's gonna bring him to the Mandalorian. If Mandalorian's there fighting, I think Luke's gonna bring him there, and he might get to the final fight.
Or send Ahsoka with to. Well, she already left. It's weird. That means Luke's there at the final.
Do you think Luke coming back to defend Tatooine? His home planet?
I think so.
That would be kind of cool.
He's going to join the Mandalorian side.
And Boba Fett? He's going to join with Boba Fett. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
That would be... Wow. That would be...
So
okay, let's talk about that. The reunion of Luke Skywalker and Boba Fett. I mean, Luke Skywalker knows who Boba Fett is.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be after the fight. He's going to come back. And that's going to be the end, the final end of the whole series.
Okay. We'll see.
But if we draw that string, like you say, Troy, a little longer. So let's assume Grogu goes with the armor, somehow gets back to Mando for next season. Let's get the next chapter of Boba Fett. What else? And because a lot of us could theorize, and I know I have, that if Grogu is considering himself half Jedi and half Mandalorian, it puts him right in, the architect of the Darksabers category. So does Grogu get the Darksaber?
It's too big for him. It's taller than he is.
That would be very weird on screen, to have him holding that.
Maybe if Mandalorian kept it long enough for him to maybe grow some years or grow some height, then maybe he could wield it then.
Yeah.
Or he just uses the Force the whole time, never actually holds it. He kind of just controls it with the Force, and
yeah, that's true too.
That'd be kind of cool.
Size matters not. All right. Well, I don't think. Yeah, you're right. It fits him, and a lot of Jedi create their own lightsaber, right? So it'd be great to just see Grogu find a kyber crystal and figure it out.
Yeah.
I think they definitely, Disney made them both. They wouldn't have gone to the painstaking process of putting it into the storyline and like wrapping it up to look like his little ears and a knot and everything, to just be like, hey, we're going to throw this away.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I honestly think he's going to end up with both in some weird way. But we'll see.
Right.
It's a tough call. It's a tough call.
Yeah,
a lot of theories out there are, showing stuff like this poster. It's going to end up with a yellow lightsaber somehow, like Ahsoka or something.
Like Rey? Doesn't she have a yellow?
Or Rey, yeah. Tie that in again.
Boo.
I like the Darksaber theory and him getting a little dark with it, because it's not the greatest thing to be responsible for. But that would tie into Ahsoka streaming service, and another detachment from Mandalorian, but a way to sell more Grogus or whatnot, and continue that story with Ahsoka series, which will be, I'm pretty sure, more Darksaber lore and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, we're probably gonna get Thrawn in that series, we're probably definitely gonna get Thrawn in that series.
Thrawn,
which would be really cool.
Speaking of Ahsoka, I thought her Rosario Dawson's depiction of her like demeanor, her bodily, kind of like her body language was like even better in this episode. I thought
it was. Yeah, I agree. It's funny that you and I noticed the same thing. I was like, everything, the way she swings her arms, the way that stuff. She was spot on. She's done her homework.
Yeah.
And there's the blue guy.
Yeah. When are we going to see him?
The other blue guy.
I'm curious who's going to play him. I'm so curious who's going to play him. We were talking last week, the guy from Harry Potter that played the kid from Slytherin's father. What's his name? I'm a Harry Potter
Draco?
fan. Draco's father would be a good.
Lucius Malfoy?
Yeah, Lucius. That guy would be a very good Thrawn.
Wow, Jason Isaacs.
Yeah, I think he would.
That would be good. He'd be good.
Let's give you guys another chance to go to the other Blue Man Group story that we have today.
The CG for him was that CG?
Are you talking about Max Rebo? Did he survive another explosion? Was he there? That's what I want to know.
Did he survive another explosion?
That was surprising too. Blowing that up.
It seems like they just blew up the doorway. The writers can always be like, "Oh, well, just the front of it blew up," but we'll see. Like, I hope that.
Yeah.
So was that CG or was that makeup?
Wow,
both.
I think that's a mask.
Yeah,
that looks really good.
I mean, yeah, the way the teeth, the fangs were showing,
so good.
That looks masked, there. And then you gotta make the eyes a little CG. Although I think there could have been a little more motion there, but maybe that's just the way he is.
It's like when they did the Dark Crystal. It was half puppet and half 90% puppet and a little bit CGI in the mouth and the eyes.
Mm-hmm. Well, think about how they did.
That's what they did.
Think about how they did Lord Voldemort. The guy had a green, green blob on his nose for the whole time, so they go back and do that. So they can do anything they want. I thought it was really.
It's mostly mask, and then, like you said, a little CGI for the eyes and the mouth. But that was great. How he had his hat down and he just saw his fangs, and he's just like, and you heard the voice instantly, so you knew exactly.
Well, how many times did he do that in Clone Wars? That's kind of his signature move. Is coming, but he didn't have his toothpick.
Yeah, he was missing the toothpick. Yeah, you're right.
All right. Well, I don't want to leave Max Rebo out. Rest in peace, the Cantina. And Jessica Biel, like Larry started the show off.
Jennifer Beals.
Yeah, Jennifer Beals. That's who it is.
Both hotties, but no, Jennifer's older than Jessica.
Jessica Biel. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
One has leg warmers, one doesn't.
Right.
Right. A couple more. Let me dismiss this email. All right. Not much going on in the chat. Let me check my notes here. I think we went through a lot of the story. I think we got it. Let's see here. If I turn the page, though, a lot happens at the end, right? No, that was the choice. We did that. And blowing up the sanctuary.
So I think it'll be interesting because I know that Mando had a choice too. When he's walking up with Ahsoka and he wants to give the gift, Ahsoka, very wise. She's so wise. She's full of wisdom. She asked him, are you doing this for Grogu or are you doing this for you? And she explains that he's at a weird time right now. If he sees you, he's going to want to go back with you. And so I think, Mando makes a very mature choice to say, okay, because he says, I'm here to give him this gift because it's his right to have this armor. And I think he makes the smart decision, even though it might hurt him a little bit, to have her give him the armor so so Grogu doesn't see it. So now Grogu is immature. Is he going to make the more impulsive decision from the heart to go with the Mandalorian for marketing purposes? Probably yes, but
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how that plays out. And I wonder if they're going to, if they will please open the next episode with his decision.
Would that be an immature decision if he decided to go back to the Mandalorian?
Well, not necessarily, but he may be. Of course, he's older than the Mandalorian, so it's weird. Their whole species. I have questions.
Yeah. Well, he's got ties to the Jedi, like Luke says. I feel like he's remembering instead of training him. So he was with the Jedi in the temple,
and they showed it. They showed basically the 501st busting in. The crazy thing though is that they've definitely there's always been the marketing side of Star Wars with the toys. It started out that way, but when Mando came out, the first premiere, they hid all of the Grogu. No one. Usually, every toy company gets sign NDA and you get all this footage and screenshots. Dave Filoni wasn't nope. Him and Jon Favreau were we're not going to show this character to anybody, and that's why Lego was one wave late on putting out toys with Grogu and Mando in there. So they're getting better at doing that actually, which is crazy because, like Larry said, you don't know. It could be a marketing point, and it could not. And so they're getting really good at actually blending the two together. So
yeah,
it's definitely a different world. I mean, toy companies they don't need to do the crazy stuff that they used to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, they don't with technology. They definitely don't. So.
We probably will get more toys, that's for sure. Everyone jumped on the Naboo Starfighter and Legoized it before I could even give it too much of a shot.
You gotta be on that. Where's your Ant Droid? Seriously, you don't have that?
No, I just made the little thing for the thumbnail here.
Here's a real quick question. What planet were they on? Do we know?
Do they mention where Luke set up his new academy?
Yeah, that's what
in the movies.
It's not Octu, right? It's not Octu. That's where he.
I've seen some fans saying it's Endor, which is insane. It is not Endor.
No.
Endor has giant redwood trees, not bamboo.
We'd have to look it back. You could probably trace some Google searches with the Knights of Ren, because that's where they come down and raise the academy to the ground. So there's
I think it's that planet.
There are some names. The name of the Ring World also is out there, but I don't think they really said it during the show. Last episode.
When those younger fans said it was Endor, I'm like, are you kidding me? It's not.
Just because there's plants on it?
It's not Endor. It's definitely. I think it really is, though. They're trying to tie it into where the Kylo Ren scene from the sequels. Mm-hmm. I think it's that planet, whatever that planet is called.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
Where Luke set up his, that's Luke's first establishment as the Jedi Order, his little school that he made. So it makes total sense. I think it's that. I don't know the name of the planet, but I think it's definitely that planet.
Yeah.
Pull up Wikipedia. Come on. Okay, I got a line of dialogue to talk about. So when Luke says he doesn't think his heart's in it, Ahsoka then says, "So much like your father."
That's what I mean. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying.
What does she mean?
Perceptiveness.
Fear.
Oh, untrustworthy. He couldn't trust his feelings about.
Did Anakin say that to her in the beginning?
Or was it something she perceived about Anakin? That he was the type, he's that type.
I want to know what's behind that line. Sometimes I wonder if his heart is in it. So much like your father. And then he just looks at her. And she's smiling, but...
Yeah, I think it was a
And then Grogu falls asleep on a rock in the middle of a pond.
I mean, that's a better place than any.
That's why, Jesse, that's what I was going to say. When everyone wants to build the ships. That's why I made little Grogu jumping off a rock. It was like,
I want to build the ant droids building a temple out of Lego bricks, like just 2x4.
That would be dope. Yeah.
I was thinking you couldn't make a minifig scale because that would just be too. Even though they're kind of bigger than a person, it'd be kind of tough.
I like them making the bed for Mando to rest on.
There you go.
The bench, yeah.
Is that a bench?
Like that thing, yeah.
How long am I supposed to wait?
Definitely have to include the bench if you make the ant droids.
Right.
What else?
The little droid that Luke does with the training. I forget the name of it. It's right here. Once I knew, I was like, "Oh, Lego made this droid already." So I was like, I'm gonna make the little scene with Grogu jumping on the rock.
Training remote. I don't know.
I forget the name. I should know the name of it. I forget the name of that droid. They said it in the show too.
Troy, anything else you'd mock up? I know you got a nice Boba Fett palace next to you.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to have to get even bigger because now I need to build a hangar for it.
Dude, the crazy thing with Jabba's palace, people don't realize is that those little spider droids, the Bomar monks with the brains in the jars, those are who built that palace. Like, and they built the staircase goes up because they used to meditate. They used to walk up and down they used to meditate in the stairwell and walk up and down.
Right.
So, like, it's in the old books that George Lucas actually put out where it shows, like, dissective cuts of the building. And so I hope they even get into more of that lore.
That would be cool, yeah. That they'd probably save that for the next season, I'm sure. But yeah, I'd like to see that too.
Yeah.
Get more into the lore of it.
It's a cool building. I hope Lego keeps making. I want Lego to make a UCS version of that. UCS.
Well, we're gonna get some kind of set of it. Probably just the throne area, but we'll see.
Well, we can theorize about more things to come, including possibly a trailer for a certain Obi-Wan Kenobi. You guys have high hopes for that? I know.
I feel like he's going to be featured in Ahsoka in some way, I'm sure. You think?
It should be like that should be a primo Star Wars show. I would hope.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
you're getting top level actor with that one.
We got Ewan McGregor back. We got possibly all signs indicate a May the 4th release date.
Yeah, supposedly,
for Obi-Wan, and that'd be the next thing to dive deep into the Star Wars lore and connect to the stories like they did with Rogue One.
We're gonna get some Moon Knight, and then we're gonna get some Obi-Wan, hopefully.
Oh yeah.
Crossed. I would hope that's how it goes. Moon Knight, and then into Obi-Wan, but we'll see.
More Tatooine.
Yeah, I know. That
it's easy for production values to film in.
There'll be a lot of flashbacks.
Tunisia or Death Valley. That's where they filmed Kenobi, was in Death Valley. A lot of it.
Okay.
So they will be, yeah. We've got a wrap, I'd say, on chapter 6.
How many more we got left?
One. Wow. We hit the finale next week, so we're kind of jumping into and theorizing. We can theorize more. We went over the Grogu choice, but it's really up to Boba Fett and his scavenger army. These guys gonna hang in? Are they gonna protect the city from the Pikes?
That mod squad drives me nuts because I get it. I get it. The whole play on the mod, they moderate their body. They're proud of it. The mod squad, they're playing off the actual mod squad of the 1950s and 60s in the UK.
And they're Vespas.
I totally get it. I get it. It just doesn't fit on Tatooine. It like strike out, writers. You did not do a good job with that. Like it's just. there's too many fans complaining about it. And I'm sure there's some people that like it. The younger generation of Star Wars might like it. It just doesn't fit Tatooine for me. With the whole mod gang.
I have to say, in this episode though, where we saw them all around the table in the palace, their attire, the stuff that they were wearing, looked a lot better in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely
compared to the last. Because in that one episode, it looked like somebody was straight out of Hogwarts school with a freaking tie, and it just wasn't working.
It's mostly just the bikes for me. It's mostly just the scooters for me. That
it was the clothing for me too. It didn't work. The dragon skeleton on top of the sandcrawler. That was a good little thing.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that Easter egg thing that they added.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
That was awesome.
Yep. Trait dragon.
Could easily mock something like that up.
Those guys scavenge everything they can get their hands on, that's for sure.
That's my favorite character in Star Wars, the Jawas. I love the Jawas. I always have.
Yeah.
I like that they're still keeping them mysterious too.
Yeah.
They still haven't told us much about them.
I don't think
we'll ever see. I was looking up a name for the planet, and they don't. Wikipedia doesn't have anything. I mean, they've even got it updated to today's episode, even, but there's no name for the planet.
It's got to be even the dome shapes was like from the sequels where Luke was hiding, on the planet with the it's definitely supposed to be the planet where Kylo Ren was schooled, and the rest of the whatever the Jedi temples were there. I think it's supposed to be that planet for sure.
Because it definitely reminded me when they showed Luke and Leia training together and her running around and stuff with the blast shield on.
Yep.
It looked exactly like that place.
And you could even see that when the droids are building it, it has that weird dome shape to it that it was definitely taken from.
Here we go.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. You can see it right in the middle.
Could be.
I'm pretty sure
it's there.
Not the exact building, but there would be multiple buildings on that planet. So.
Yeah, they got more spires here that look like Jedi Temple types of things.
Yeah, that middle one though just looks exactly like it.
Yeah, that might have been the first one they built, and then they built the one in front of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like a campus. So we'll see.
Okay. Here's the androids. Yeah. They're just getting started. Laying foundation. Well, if Grogu leaves Luke alone, without a student on this planet, I think it sets up an interesting string of tragedy also for him, starting, getting all these bots even to build the building. But, his star pupil leaves. He basically, I think, and they won't do it, but, it could be, kind of extended universe lore or whatnot, new extended universe, where he's desperate to find students and maybe, making some bad choices as Ben Solo and others join this academy.
Yeah, the crazy thing that, in the writing that really got to me in a good way was last week when she said, they said it twice. They're like, oh, but that only exists in Legends. It was basically the writers being like,
right?
They're just taking Legends and being like, whoop, we're going to make a joke about it and just push it.
Very, very meta.
Right.
And they said it twice in the show.
They did.
They made a point to say it twice. And that's a little thing on the writing and the little Easter eggs that I pick up on that I just enjoy so much. I'm just like, dude, that was definitely a reference from the writers about Legends.
All right, so I did a little research, and we may see the name Ajan Kloss as the name of the planet that Luke is on. Ajan.
Yeah.
In other words, Kloss.
Which
apparently which I guess is canon, is where Luke trained Leia. So I'm guessing all of that happens at this place. So
that was where the Resistance base was in Episode 9.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It has to be. It's got to be that. That's what they're aiming for.
That would make sense. That makes sense to me.
We'll see.
You can only take Ewoks so much longer.
But that's why when people said it was like Endor, I was like, "Are you kidding me? There's no Ewok village. You don't see any giant trees. The planet looks just because there's trees on the planet. It's it's Endor. No, it looks nothing like Endor at all.
Yeah.
I wish I had a bunch of Lego frogs because I would totally do that scene with the
I immediately thought
of
it too.
My nephew hates me because of that. Because I was watching that with him, and I said that I'm like, "Watch, he's gonna pick up all the frogs." And he looked at me like I had 3 eyes. It's like it was just in the right. Like I just guessed it from the writing. It was obvious he was gonna do that. So,
okay, are you ready for this?
Sure. Oh, add to stream. There we go.
Jawa hands.
Jawa hands.
Oh yeah, you're right, dude. Oh, look at that! I never realized that. They're furry.
Little monkeys. They're little monkey.
Yeah, basically.
Monkey gorilla type of small.
They always claimed, like even when I worked at Disney, they claimed that they were before I even worked at Disney. When I worked at Lucasfilm, they were like they're rat-like people, just miniature, and they never showed it though. They never ever showed it. So it's awesome to get that reference.
Huh.
Well, I guess since she said they were furry last week.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Show it.
They always said it. Like even when I worked on it years ago, they said it. They're them and Tusken Raiders. They're like, we'll never show their faces. So hopefully they don't. I want to keep it true to the lore, but they hint at it, which is great. I love that. Like especially how Peli and Moto did the little mouth thing, so they're furry. Like that was cool.
You guys want to break down that episode too, or we could probably call it?
I might need to call it. I'm not sure if my wife is coming home tonight or not.
Yeah.
She actually brought an overnight bag to work in case the snow was too bad for her to come home.
Oh, okay.
And she was going to stay with a friend, so I don't know.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, we were a little worried there for a second.
Right, I can understand where the. I don't know if I'm ever going to see my wife again. She told me it was her or the Lego, and I just couldn't decide.
That means in 5 days I'm going to get snow because it's going to blow over. You.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let me thank you guys, the panel, at last minute jumping in. We're just geeking out on Star Wars. Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Willie.
Wizard.
Somebody had
Wizard.
Oh, thank you.
Oh man.
What?
Wizard is what they call the Naboo starfighter.
Oh yeah,
when
right.
Annie was.
It's Mandalorian for groovy.
Yeah. Or Huttese or something. Thanks, Stud Sidious, for jumping in. Always good to talk Star Wars with you. Good job on the mock. Want to see more pictures of that. And Troy also. You guys are holding it down with the Star Wars mocks. Troy,
give it a shot.
Can't wait to see more, and look for us soon. We'll be meeting up at Bricks Cascade in Portland in about 1 month's time.
Woohoo!
So,
hey, and if you see that Lego Master guy that wanted to do this show, I say we give him the cold shoulder.
Right.
He spoiled it on our group chat. Like, I was like just reaching out, like, when do you want to spoil it?
Yeah. And where was Doc? I mean, he's the one that instigated everything. Like,
oh, that's true. Yeah.
Before, I think I just started watching it when he started spoiling it. Well, not really spoiling it, but letting us know that he'd already seen it.
He must have watched it at midnight or something. He was right on there with the emojis.
Doc likes to stay up late. Doc's a late night lurker.
I thought he was getting sick of the show. I thought he was getting sick of it, but
I've done it before.
Nah, they're staying busy. Look for our friends Doc Sampson and Iceberg Bricks. We will see them on another stream. There he is.
Speaking of the devil,
always watching. Always watching.
Well, maybe it's good he wasn't on the show because then it would have been the Doc Samson show.
He had an invite.
And cut, quick, get out before.
I don't mind giving him props. I know he's got his hands full doing Good Morning Brick World co-hosting, so we kind of know what that's about.
I've been really enjoying that show.
Yeah,
recently.
Yeah, wizard job, Doc, on on the co-hosting on Brick Hive's channel. So go see Brick Hive if you're still watching this. Let's get out of here. Let's start the countdown for Chapter 7. Close the book.
How can they top this show?
Oh, yeah.
They better pull out all the stops, man.
Yeah, with an epic battle scene. I want an epic battle scene.
I think you're gonna see something that you're not expecting.
General Leia Organa.
I don't know. It could be a space battle, right? Are we missing space battles? We got the Naboo space fighter now, and Boba Fett's got a ship, and maybe it's going to be all like, X-wings and Pike Syndicate ships, whatever they're flying.
There's been heavy rumors about Han Solo, whether he's young or old.
Oh yeah, and Doc's got it right. Is Boba Fett going to die at the end? Because
I don't know. People keep saying that the end is going to be like last year, the archetype where Luke came in at the end. It's going to be Han Solo. I just don't know how it fits. So we'll see. We will see.
Grogu kills Boba.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. With the armor and with both the armor and
that's enough for Fennec to take over. Interesting. I could see that happening. She's kind of on his side, but not agreeing with all his moves.
Well, just keep your eye out for and beware of bottomless pits, because those are all over the place in Star Wars, and they're not good for anybody.
He just goes down another bottle.
Right.
End of the episode. We'll see.
So yeah, the Pitter Harkoon, it was just the baby, the child of the bigger one that devours the whole
Dad's
house.
pissed. He's looking for him.
Fennec is just going to take that Beskar spear. Well, actually, she can't now because the Beskar spear is gone. But she's going to pop his jetpack and he's going to.
Oh my God!
She's going to turn to him and it's going to be like, "I'm done."
No. All right. That's a wrap. Appreciate it, guys. May the Force be with you always.
And also